Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you all are doing well. In this live stream, we're essentially going to be breaking down Euro USD, where it is right now currently, and looking to see if we can possibly hop into a possible trade. Those of you that are watching this, if you're a student of mine, then you kind of already know this process that I go through. If you are not a student, no worries. Just feel free to, you know, um, pay attention to what I'm doing. Feel free to take notes. Feel free to also mark up your charts right along with me. If you are new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I pretty much upload a video every day except the days that the market is closed, which is pretty much Saturday. Um, and then it depends on if I trade Friday. Depends on if I upload a video or not. But we are going to start live streaming at least 3 days per week, where I will be marking up the charts for you guys, or answering you all's questions, anything like that. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon to be updated whenever I do go live, and let's go ahead and get into it, right? Also, let me know if you guys like commentary, or if you guys like what we did yesterday with just music in the background, and then I'm just marking up the charts. So today we're going to do a little bit of commentary, maybe a little bit of music, you know, a little later. But right now we are going to focus more so on the commentary. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure everything is loading properly. If you are watching the stream, also feel free to hit that like button. Leave a thumbs up on the stream. I would greatly appreciate it, and it definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm. All right, so breaking this down, okay, we don't really have to go too far because we are looking to take advantage of a day trade, maybe an intraday trade, but definitely a day trade. So we don't really have to go up the time frames all too much. Now, I am looking for buys to start to come into the market, right? Just based on how price is looking now, we should start to see price move to the upside just a little bit. It doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be within the next leg, but overall, sellers are definitely slowing down, and we definitely have a lot of unmitigated areas up here within this region. Let's go ahead and mark this up here. All right, so we have this area here, and then we also have this region right here as well. Now, these are going to be minor, okay, especially this one here. I would definitely say this one here is going to be minor, so I really wouldn't be paying too much attention to it, but it is still valid. Okay, let's go on the H4. Okay, we're just going to leave it for now because I don't want to take up too much time doing all that. Anyways, so we do have, these points of interest here, but I am really looking for price to tap into this possible point of interest up here, and then possibly even the apex. It just depends on what price wants to do. If you want to know why I marked this area up how I did, feel free to go to the videos on my channel and watch the last live stream. It was yesterday. Well, I guess today is Monday, so it was on. Yeah, it was yesterday. So feel free to check it out. It was like uploaded at like 3 or 4 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m., excuse me, on Sunday, July 10th. So feel free to go check that out, and it will break down this entire region here for you guys. All right. So let's see what happens with price. Right now, we're just going to continue to sell the market, right? If the market wants to continue to sell. Let's see what's going on here. So we can see we have some type of supply here with the inducement resting here. Price sweeps that inducement, taps into this region, and it looks like it wants to possibly turn over. So we have this large area of demand right here. Let's go down a couple of time frames to see if we can refine it just a little bit. It doesn't look like it just yet. Let's go to the M15. And perfect, right? So we can refine this on the M15 time frame. So we have some type of demand that came into the market here, right? That not only took out this supply, but also gave us this mitigation here. And now we're looking for a possible transition, right, for price to continue bearish. So it looks like we are transitioning from sub to minor structure right now. Let's see. Also, keep in mind, guys, Mondays and Fridays are days where I don't really stress trading the market, right? Tuesdays through Thursdays, I'm extremely active in the market. Um, but Mondays, it's going to be a hit or a miss, right? I need a beautiful setup in order to trade Monday. And then Friday, like this past Friday, I did take a trade after NFP had dropped. Well, I took the entry before NFP had dropped, and then I just allowed price to do whatever it did. But Mondays and Fridays are not going to be the best volume and volatility within the market, so definitely keep that in mind when you guys are trading. All right, definitely keep that in mind for sure. A lot of you guys ask me. About the mentorship program and things like that. The mentorship program is really only for those only for those traders who need a little extra assistance, right? Like if you need to be put on the right track. If you're someone and you are, you're already producing some type of results, and you are, you know, consistent, or you're able to spot a trade and successfully take that trade, right, and follow your trading plan and can produce consistent results, then the mentorship program really isn't for you, right? Even if you're someone who wants to change their style of trading, I say if you don't trade like this, right, like how I do with supply and demand, liquidity, market structure, and other confluences, if you don't trade the way that I do, but you have a trading plan and a trading strategy that works for you, I would say keep what you have, because I get that question a lot as well. Like, hey Mac, I'm successful already with what I do, but I want to improve my trading. Would you recommend switching to your style of trading and learning under you? I would say no, right? I'm not going to be one of those. I'm not going to be one of those trading guys who, is going to tell you, yes, you need to learn my strategy. Pay me $99 per month to um, give you unlimited access to all of my courses, all of my content, and 3 mentorship sessions a week and free one-on-one sessions. I'm not going to be that type of person, right? It's really only for those individuals who don't have a proper trading strategy and is looking for one, right? Because I can break down mine very, very simply to you, and you will be successful with it, right? But if you have something that works, keep what works. Because if you try to mix something that is working for you right now and you try to mix it with how I trade, right? It may not mesh well, right? You trying to mix 2 strategies or stack 2 strategies on top of each other, right? So definitely keep those little things in mind. Now I'm just really giving commentary while we wait on London session to do a little something. So it's 2:30 now, right? So we're looking for a couple of things, right? A couple of things can take place. If price continues to go bearish, then we are going to look for sells probably during New York session. Okay, within these regions here, London session may continue to push the downside. We may see some type of slight reversal during New York session, right? And then we'll see that possible continuation, um, maybe, right? This is all just us anticipating what could possibly happen within the markets, but we don't quite know until it actually happens, right? So we have a couple of options. Price could also continue to push to the upside. If so, right, we'll just take a continuation move to the upside. Now, for those of you that are part of my trade alerts, right? For those of you who have access to my trade alerts, go check out the trade alerts. I just posted what my buy entry schematic looks like and what my sell entry schematic looks like, and then how I manage my risk. So you guys can be prepared for the trades that I released this week. So feel free to go check that out if you are a part of my trade alerts and you have access, which is only like $40 a month, super inexpensive. Plus, I mean, we produced over 71R in the month of May. Then in the month of June, half of June, I was low-key on vacation, and then the other half, I was we were working on the platform. So we're not really going to count June, even though the trades sent were still successful. Last week in June, we produced like 17% on Euro USD live. So, that was phenomenal. And then we had like 29% on Euro CAD. So that was also a really good trade. So June was still good nonetheless. And then July, we're already up 25R. Well, minus GBP JPY. So we're up 24R right now. I risk 1% of my account per trade idea. So if you also risk 1% of your account, 24R equates to 24%. Not bad at all, right? So usually, another question that I get all the time is, do I take do I send out day trades, or do I send out more of a formulated trade idea based on higher time frames within the market? And I send the latter one, right? I send higher time frame trade ideas, right? We may enter the market, within session, right, as a day trade, but the trades that I do send out within trade alerts are higher time frame trade ideas, right? So it's going to be like the H4 time frame, the H1. We don't go any lower than the H1. But I do send day trades every now and then. Like a couple of days ago, I did send out day trades for New York session. So yeah, you guys will get a mix of both, but it's more so focused on the higher time frame, right? Because those are going to be the time frames that, for example, the last Euro USD trade that we took, sell position was here. Let's go to the H4. So we took a sell position here on Euro USD. Let's go. Here. So we took a sell position here, right? And our target was right down here, like literally this low here. And that produced us 25%, right? Just based on how we take entries and things like that. Hopefully it gets you. Hopefully this entire area gets used as inducement. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that's what you get. Those are the types of trades that you guys can expect, and that was based off of the H4 time frame with the H4 POI. And I also I upload my charts as well for you guys. So you guys are also able to see like how I'm looking at the breaks of structure, what candle I'm using for my point of interest, where's the liquidity that I have marked up, where's the structure that I have marked up, where's the supply and demand that I have marked up, right? So you're not only taking advantage of my higher time frame trade ideas, but you're also learning along the way. And then when you're ready, I have to plug up my laptop, guys. So excuse me if it sounds a little shaky in the background. But when you're ready for the mentorship program, like once you've made enough money from the trade alerts, right, then I would say reinvest those profits into the mentorship program, because that is where I will show you specifically how to produce the same trades and the same percentages that you're already used to from the trade alerts, right? Essentially, that's how the system is set up. If you guys do have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the Telegram. I don't mind answering them at all. Those are just a couple that I received earlier. So there's no telling if we're going to get any momentum during this London session. It is Monday. We do have some news events today, but they're pretty much just medium impact and low. We do have high impact news on the 13th, so on Wednesday. So we should get some type of movement there. And then we also have high impact news on Thursday. Ooh, and we have a lot of high impact news on Friday. So moving towards the end of the week, like once we do take our positions, right? The positions that I take before Wednesday, I'm probably going to hold some of those positions to hit higher time frame targets, whether we're buying or selling. Like it really doesn't matter how I trade and how I teach my students how to trade. It doesn't matter what the market is doing, right? There are specific trades that we take, and so even if the market goes against our analysis, right? Those of you who are part of the day trading masterclass as well, right? I taught you all how to recover. Right? It's very, very simple. If you're trading this style anytime you have an incorrect, like a losing trade, the very next trade you should be winning, right? And that's kind of how that's why whenever we take a loss within the trade alerts, is why it really doesn't matter. As you guys can see, 71% publicly, absolutely crazy. Yeah, so right now we're just waiting on. Oh, also, guys, I have so everyone on YouTube, I also have some of my students um, on a session right now with me. So if you guys do hear me answer questions and things like that, my students are also, uh, some of my students in London are trading with me right now. We're doing a quick little session. I just figured I would live stream it for YouTube as well. So they're asking me questions. So you guys may hear me answer some of those students from London. Well, I should say Europe. They're not all from London. Some are from other areas of Europe, but you guys get the picture. Yeah, so nothing just yet. Let me pause the screen really quickly, and we have no dropped frames. That is excellent. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna do something really quickly. All right, we're back. All right, so technically speaking, like if we're going like technical wise, London session doesn't start till 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it's 2:38 Eastern Standard Time. But it's all good. I like to take advantage of Frankfurt Open as well. Well, I shouldn't say as well. I usually start, if I'm going to trade London session, I usually start trading around Frankfurt Open. So that's around 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But like I said, especially on Mondays, Mondays are just bleh for the market. And Fridays are like that as well if there are no news events. My favorite day of the week to trade, that's a great question, is I would say Wednesday. And that's why I have live trading on Wednesdays. Like for example, last week I don't think any movement took place for live trading. So pretty much I just gave my students my analysis, but that analysis included pretty much waiting. So we didn't have a day trade this past Wednesday, but then the Wednesday before, or like 2 Wednesdays ago, we traded on when was that? Should we pull up the exact date so I can have my facts right? Yeah, that was in June, right? So June 29th, yes. So Wednesday, June 29th, right? There wasn't that much to do on that day within the market during New York session. Or excuse me, no. June 29th, there was a lot to do. The following Wednesday, after June 29th, there wasn't that much to do, right? But we were still able to produce 17% live, which is another benefit of the mentorship program. A lot of you guys ask me, how do you trade live with me? All mentorship students trade live with me on Wednesdays for New York Live. And I literally give you guys my trade. Usually on Wednesdays, Wednesdays are the days we have the most funded students pass their accounts. It's usually on Wednesdays, like when I drop my trades live. Because it's one thing to like send screenshots of charts and things like that within the trade alerts, but it's another thing when you guys get to actually like hear my MetaTrader 4. Like literally, I'll have it next to the speaker, and you guys can hear me when I actually take a position or edit a position. It's a little different when it's happening live in front of you, and you're able to, hop in. It really boosts your confidence as well in the strategy, because you'll have the same markup as me, right? And then you'll see how I just take the trade, and then you on your end you're thinking, well, if I have the same markup as him, then that means I see the market similar to how he does. And if I'm seeing the market similar to how he does, and he sees the setup and just takes it with utmost confidence and no fear, I should too, right? It's all literally just mimicking. So it looks like price is going to continue to push to the downside. That's exactly what we want. I'm not necessarily going to count structure here at this wick. I'm going to count structure here. Mainly because if we go to the M15, this is where... How do I want to do this? Okay, so technically speaking, guys, hold on. We're going to have to edit this. So we're going to use the 10-minute time frame in this case. It's not something that I do often, like at all. But we're going to use it for now, because it just makes the most sense. I'm going to consider this area here as mitigated with this wick here. I know on the H1 time frame it doesn't necessarily look like that, right? So we just want to use this entire candlestick on the H1. But if we refine this down, this wick here mitigates, whatever demand was here, which is why we see this on the M10 time frame, right? So it's almost like a sweep of liquidity, a mitigation of, the supply here, perfect break of structure to the upside, right? We react to this supply here, we create a failed reaction, but price still mitigates this POI here, right? So we're pretty much good to go. We don't necessarily have to look for price to, come back into this area and react, since we've already tapped into this area and gave a reaction. That reaction was a successful reaction, right? Price pushed to the upside here. We drop inducement here, right, in the form of these lows. So yeah, we should have a sell entry taking place pretty soon here. Now remember, it is Monday. I'm not going to be in any type of rush to actually get into the trade. I just need a beautiful entry. When I see a beautiful entry, then we're in there. Yeah, I've already answered that question, but my favorite day to trade is Wednesday. Do I trade U.S. oil? I used to trade U.S. oil heavily. I don't trade U.S. oil right now. But fun fact, U.S. oil definitely moves on Wednesdays. So feel free to pay attention to that, backtest it, and do with that information as you like. Will I be doing a masterclass for oil? I can do a masterclass for oil. Yeah, for sure. We could do gold and oil, since it's considered black gold. We could do a masterclass for like a joint masterclass. All right, so I need this low to get taken out. It already has, as we can see here. Perfect. All right, let's go to the M30. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so I'm gonna refine it like this for YouTube. Students of mine, you guys know exactly what to do. Let's add this really quickly. I'm just curious to see something. So give me a second, guys. Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'll be looking for price to tap back into this region here, and then I'll look for my entry to take place. So now we just set and forget. So we set alerts, and we go about our day. So another question: do I stare at charts during the entire session? No, I do not. Right? I have a busy schedule. I have a busy life. You guys know I am a trader, but I'm also an entrepreneur. So I have meetings with my team in the morning, things like that, and I really, I can't be glued to the chart 100% of the time. Those students who do trade New York Live with me on Wednesdays, like sometimes you guys will hear it in the background where I'm like, hold on, guys, I have to put you on mute. My team, I have to chime in or something like that. So my students know, I don't sit and stare at charts all day. I really rely on a lot on alerts. There was one day where my alerts weren't working on TradingView. That was not a good day for me at all. That is what really showed me how much I rely on alerts. But I mean, you can watch the charts if you need to, right? So I'm not saying like I'll never watch the charts ever again. That's not what I'm saying. But just how my schedule is right now, um, you know, I just don't have time to sit and stare at the charts all day. Now, as I continue to grow my capital, like once I hit 7 figures with capital, then if I don't have that account broken up into multiple accounts and it's just straight up 7 figures, then I may actually, sit and pay attention to the charts and watch the charts during the entire session to manage those funds and things like that. But unless I'm doing something like that, like 6 figures, I'm good with just setting alerts. 5 figures, I'm good with setting alerts. 4 figures, I'm definitely good with just setting alerts, um, and so on and so forth. Right? Good questions. Good questions. Um, if you are watching the stream, please leave a like. Much appreciated. Someone says, can you read your DMs, please? I know some people send important stuff on it. IG DMs. Yeah, man, for sure. The Forex Hokage. I'll look out. I'll look out for your DM. Yeah, so it looks like It looks like I'll be taking a sell position on Euro USD. Hopefully, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's pretty sloppy this morning. It's pretty choppy. Well, not necessarily choppy, but it's just not the best. It's not the best markup in the world. But we're gonna see what we can do with it. We're going to see what we can do with it. Yeah. So if I were you guys, I would set an alert here, right, and look for price to possibly return back to this area, and then continue to possibly push to the downside. However, if we go to the higher time frame, and let's say price is ready to go bullish, because I am expecting price to go bullish. All right, let's keep that in mind. Okay, I am expecting price to go bullish. I can't necessarily tell you guys when it'll be ready, but just based on reading price, okay, we could possibly go bullish and start to tap into some of these supply areas left behind. If you guys did enjoy that last live stream, right, these POIs appear within this region. These should be nice when price is ready to finally tap back into these areas. Just feel free to set an alert, leave them on. You should be good to go. What makes your trading different from other smart money concept traders? So, what I think makes my trading different, I mean, you guys can pretty much see from the content that I produce on YouTube, like how consistent everything is, as relates to like the numbers and things like that. Like we don't have crazy 149%, trades and then 5% trades. Like we don't have that. Most of our trades range between anywhere between 5% and I would say about 20%, right, within that range there. On any given trade, you can expect somewhere between, I would say, 8 to 12% on average, right? So how we look at the markets is very, very consistent, right? It's not random. It's not where you have to dissect the markets and you know you're gonna get a 2 pips. Like all of that is very, very possible. Yes, it's very, very doable. But a lot of smart money concept traders, the way that they teach and the information that they teach is all subjective, right? How I go about it, and how my team goes about it, Mac Training Academy, right? It's not subjective, it's objective, right? We have 3 rules on the higher time frame, 3 rules on your lower time frame, right? You're only working with 2 time frames. I know you guys see all these time frames here, but it's only because I have a lot of students that trade a lot of different time frames. I have some students who only trade the weekly as their macro. I have, I want to say, 1 or 2 students who trade the monthly as their macro. Most students don't trade monthly as their macro. And then, I have hundreds of students who trade daily, H4 and H2 as their macro, right? So I know it looks like I have a lot of time frames up here, but if it were up to me, I would probably only have 3 time frames, because how I trade personally on a day-to-day basis, 3 time frames is enough, and that gives me enough information to day trade, intraday trade, and swing trade. It may not give me enough information to position trade, but that goes to my students that trade based off the weekly and the monthly. And also how I trade is fractal, right? So it's very, very objective. Like, these are things that the algorithm of price has to do in order to move, right? So it's very, very objective. It's not subjective, right? So if I'm seeing an entry within this area, like if you break down the charts and you find an entry area, right? 9 times out of 10, or I would say no, 8 times out of 10, you're going to have the same exact entry as me, right? If you're looking at the market properly, right? And of course it takes training, mentorship, things like that. That's why I'm here. But that is really, that's really what it's all about, right? Being objective, not subjective. So it's not going to be based on, your perspective of the market at that point in time and all this and that. No, there are going to be specific rules that you have to follow. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? I'm going to be releasing my trading plan and my trading Bible sometime this week or next week. Right? I'm going to make it super inexpensive for you guys to purchase. And essentially, it's going to have my trading plan in there, as well as like a breakdown of basically each, I guess you could say, step, right? And then if you need further assistance, then of course join the mentorship program, which, I mean, there's just a ton of content, right? There's just a ton of content. You not only gain access to over 200 recorded webinars where, there's gems dropped in every single webinar that you can really learn from, but you also get 3 group sessions a week, right, with all my students, where you get to hop on, ask questions. We have a Monday night outlook. We have a Wednesday midweek check-in, an advanced session as well, right? We do giveaways all the time, right? Like, literally, for example, in the month of June, we gave away all of my gold profits, right? The month of May, we used those gold profits in order to make a purchase. And then the month of June, I literally gave away all of my gold profits in the month of June, right? Very, very straightforward, right? And it's nothing that you guys can't take advantage of, right? But you're just, the mentorship program, you're just paying for a lot of content, and you're paying for my time, like one-on-one time. Like, if you need that one-on-one assistance, you're not successful, if you're not producing results, if you are not on a weekly basis able to produce results, and I'm not saying you're not going to have a down week, right? But those of you who have traded with me on Mac Trading Academy and on Matrix Trading Group, we have not had a down month since like last February, right? Like February 2021, we have not had a down month, which is wild. Right, absolutely wild. Our lowest month, I think, was like 21%, and that was in August, last August. So yeah, we've been going crazy. November, we only traded 3 weeks in last November, and we produced 64% ROI. Right, our highest return to date, month wise, is this past May. This past May, we hit 71%, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. Last month, the last week of last month, we hit 25% or excuse me, 17% and Oh yeah, and 25% on EuroCAD, right? But we really didn't trade in the month of June because 2 weeks I was on holiday. 1 week I was getting my vehicle. Second week I was relaxing still. And then the third and fourth week, we were still working on the alpha version of the platform. Shout out to everyone who tested the platform for us. We really appreciate you. And you guys all received a free month. So, but now everything works super smooth. Everything loads very, very quickly. Um, Everyone is loving the new platform, and all of my courses are on the new platform as well. And mentorship students gain access to that. Right now, all of my courses, if you buy them separately, right, they're like $527 or something like that. That's the price that my team set it at based on the value and the feedback that we've received over time. Right. So, but if you join the mentorship program, you're paying 99 bucks and you gain access to that. Right. So that's why I tell people, like, if you want to like test out my strategy, don't purchase my courses, right? Because you're gonna end up paying over $500. Just buy the mentorship, study the courses for a month, figure out if it's something that you like. If not, then you just paid $99 for a ton of information, like a load of information that's gonna help you see the market a little differently, and sharpen your skills, right? And then you can just move on and say, oh, it's not for me. But if you buy the courses straight out, then you may go through all the course material and then you may say, oh, this is not for me, but you've already spent over $500, right? So yeah, just use the mentorship program in that case. And then if you need the capital to get the mentorship program, use my trade alerts, right? I literally just finished sending to everyone a part of my trading community, right? I literally just finished sending my buy and my sell entry schematics in the trade alerts. Now, those, you guys know I don't always trade on Mondays, right? So that's why we didn't have an analysis. I mean, it's just too risky to trade on Mondays unless I'm live trading with you guys, because the market can switch so quickly. And honestly, this here is very, very sloppy as well. Like, this is not really clear on a lower time frame other than the M30. But I don't like the M30. It's like in between micro and macro. Not really too much of a fan of the M30, to be honest, but we're gonna roll with it today. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up now, right? Because 3 a.m. is really when London session starts, and I'm gonna have to give my full attention to my mentorship students out in London. So everyone on YouTube, I'm about to log off now. I have about, let's see how many London students are on the call. Solid. So I have about 59 students in London, in the European area. The rest are going to be in other countries, but we have 59 on from, well, now we have 62. So we have 62 on from London. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on that with my students, give them my full attention. Everyone on YouTube, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate you guys. Please leave a like on the stream, and thank you guys for all the support. Much love and appreciation. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.